Amanda here with this week's Tuesday Tip. I know lots of my colleagues are making that transition to remote learning with this weekend's announcement about Winnipeg and Brandon schools. We in my school have been doing remote learning since the beginning of May, and I thought it would be helpful if I shared a couple of activities that have been working well for me at school here. So the first one comes from the book Second Rhyme Around, and it is a song called The Cuckoo. It goes like this. The cuckoo comes in April, he sings his song in May. In the middle of June he changes his tune and then he flies away. If you'd like a French option, the words that we have been using are Le coucou vient en avril, il chante pendant mai. Au milieu de juin, il change de refrain et puis il disparaît. So once we learn all of the notes by rote, we add some actions in. Your students might come up with something like this. The cuckoo comes in April, he sings his song in May. In the middle of June, he changes his tune and then he flies away. And then we practice singing the song in different ways. It's a good song for beat practice. We can keep the beat on different parts of our body. It's a great song for singing out loud and thinking the words. And just to keep things really fun and light, at the end, we decided to do a bit of a Microsoft Teams magic act where everybody disappears like the cuckoo bird. And it's super cute to see all of the kids' heads just disappear out of the camera view. So if we do it like that, it looks like this. The cuckoo comes in April, he sings his song in May. In the middle of June, he changes his tune and then he flies away. And then, of course, we play with it a little bit and say things like, where did all the grade ones go? Come back, cuckoo birds, come back. It just keeps an element of playfulness in the music making. The second activity that's been working well with our younger students, it actually is an idea that came from my teaching partner, Anna, and it's with the song Carnavalito, and it's the recording from the Shenanigans albums. And the A section of the song has this rhythm pattern running through it. So ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. First we start out by just clapping this rhythm and we try doing it on different parts of our body, like tapping on our shoulders or our head, or even putting it in our feet with footsteps, like step, step, tiptoe step, and then we listen to the music and we find that the music has that rhythm pattern in it. We just listen and I ask the students to give me a thumbs up when they hear it. This is what the beginning of the piece sounds like. And then they finally do hear it, and then they can try keeping it in their feet with that step, tiptoe, step, 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 tiptoe, step, 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 tiptoe, step. So after listening for a while, eventually we find that the piece also has a B section. We use the B section for beat practice. So our A section becomes some rhythm practice, B section beat practice. And students, of course, can just keep the beat on their bodies, but we have been looking around our spaces for things that make sounds that we can use as found instruments. So I see lots of kids that bring pens, or they'll use a cup, or they'll even try to tap on a book like a drum, or open and close a book in the B section. So I'm going to keep the music playing and just show you what that transition looks like. Oh, here's the B section, everyone. And then, of course, when the A section comes back, we're back to step, step, tiptoe, step, 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 tiptoe, step, 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 tiptoe, step. And you get the idea. So those are two activities that have been working well in those online Teams classes for primary students. Next, I have two activities that have been working well for us for the upper elementary age group. Okay, here are a few ideas for upper elementary students. Again, my goal is to get them up and moving and clapping and patting and practicing rhythms. So here are some things that have been working for us. As a warm-up, we've just been echoing different levels of body percussion. Just to get used to doing those rhythms on different levels of our body. And then we've just been doing some rhythm review. So we might look at a pattern like this one, T, 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 ta. And then I'll challenge them to figure out how they could perform this rhythm using 2 different body percussion levels, maybe 3 if they're really doing well, maybe 4. And for those students that have their cameras on while they're working on this, I'm watching them, and when I see something that's working, I'll stop the group and we'll try that person's pattern, and then we'll get back to work and we'll try somebody else's pattern. Once we have tried a few students' patterns, we'll take a couple of them and combine them into an 8-beat pattern. So I might have student 1 pattern and then student 2's pattern, and we'll practice that a few times. And then the challenge at the end is, can the students perform the pattern while I just count them in and keep the beat? And so we know how we're doing, and I give them some ideas to gauge how they are doing so that they have an idea, because I can't be there and be giving them feedback in person. We've also been doing some work with lots of found sounds. So I've been working with a piece from this book called Kanya Conga by Chris Judah Lauder. The piece is called Toad in the Road. So it has 5 different parts in it. We have worked on 4 of them so far, and a lot of the process is the same. So we learn each part individually, and then what gets interesting is when we try to do parts simultaneously. So what has been working for us is for me to use my voice to support one part and then body percussion to support a second part, and inviting students to perform one of those along with me so that while they're performing, they could hear how that other part fits in, if that makes sense. So in this case, my demoing might look like walking down the road. There I saw a toad, jumping high, jumping low, walking down the road. Okay, so they see one part on my body and they hear one part with my voice. If I flip that around, it looks like this. Toads jump in the road. And once we can do that with body percussion and speaking, then we can go and find those found sound things. If I wanted to just drum on my table, it might look like walking down the road. There I saw a toad, jumping high, jumping low, jumping down the road. And if I want to demonstrate how those fit together in this context, it would look like this. Toads jump in the road. So there's tons of pieces that you can do a similar process with, and you can pick one that has rhythms that you want to focus on. I know for lots of you, this is the transition to remote learning is happening as we speak, as I make this video, and I'm wishing everyone all the best. Stay safe.